on my way to, what's this, Buchanan, Michigan, Benton Harbor, Michigan. Facility tour. Long ass wait before we get there. Still got the merch on though.
So my name is Frank Dubkowski. Our brand is Elevated Lakes, and our company is Boone Labs, and that's us. The lab itself used to be a gas mask facility as well as an accounting firm in the basement. This room itself had a air vacuum sealed kind of gas mask testing chamber. Fun fact: when we were destroying this area, there's a row of cabinets right here that I put a sledgehammer to. I opened one cabinet door, there was explosives. I had to have the fire department come. I left it outside. Didn't know I was not supposed to leave it outside because it was in the morning. But then they picked it up. It wasn't actually explosive because it was defective at the time, but it potentially had a hazard. But this room used to be this. We did transform this room into a completely water-free room. You can see the ceiling tiles. If I spray that down with water, it's water soluble. It's going to actually just drip all the way down. All the walls are water soluble. All of our electrical outlets in here are GFI. Our thinking here is if we ever do expand solventless, this room can be extended to solventless. All the systems here are set to RO water, which we'll talk about 10 seconds from now. Originally, this was supposed to be a kitchen. Unfortunately, in our industry, we did get all the necessary stuff to make gummies, double Dutch ovens. Making it here, we could not compete. We had to go out and actually find our bulk suppliers. That's one of the unfortunate things is you can try to get the edibles, but you're most likely not going to succeed. You're going to have to go out and do third-party products, kind of stuff like that. So this room has become underutilized. Obviously, it's kind of storage. We have an access a barrel here, a 45-gallon barrel. If we did double, it has 100 feet. Originally, this was a complete block. We had 2 days to cut 6 inches of block through this wall, put a door in, put a 2-ton mantle right here, and if we didn't do that, we had to go through our licensing phase all over again, forfeit our licensing with the state. So this room, I like to call my bitch, because it was a bitch, because we have this all set up, and then I have to cut 3 blocks of sawdust and wall. Well, it gets everywhere. This is all coated white. It was probably 2 weeks of cleaning, and it was all stuck in the grooves. And to be honest with you, I still don't think I got it all. But yeah, this room is also air temperature controlled. It does have its own ventilation system. So if we did ever want to kind of turn this into another access room, we have the ability to get this temperature down to here real cool, just like an access room itself. Okay. So our most important feature is our RO water filtration. It's a 17 charcoal filter system. It's linked up. Basically, our water is kind of the same quality as a hospital. We have an ice vending machine here. You know how to get a hospital with ice chips? Yeah. We're basically the same quality. To give you an accurate reading, I would have to have both water running because it's not going to. The clean water gets stored in here, and the reading it shows me is dirty water going through. Well, it needs to kick on for about 5 minutes before it actually shows the true numbers. It'll say something crazy like 300, but during the wash, we get down to something like 2 parts per million for metal. So everything's reduced. And when you're dealing with outdoor cannabis, copper, any type of just hard, heavy metal is already existing in it. Adding it into there can cause failures. So this right here kind of saves us in a lot of regards, keeps us really clean. This water is also delicious. I love drinking it. It's probably the best thing I have. It's like drinking from your refrigerator when you were a kid. But yeah,
outside hoses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I always love it because you can actually, when you have hot water, you see all the minerals in it. You see it's all like murky. If you would turn the hot water on for this, it'd still be clean like a cold. You wouldn't be able to tell. Our RO system can take up to, I think it's a 400-gallon system, but we have a backup underneath for 200 gallons. Sometimes it will happen where our water filters go out and now stop our water system. That's why we installed 3 water filters. We're never going to fail for anything for the water. Our water is always going to be the cleanest thing. Also, it's a beautiful thing because when we actually put the water back into the environment, the water is now cleansed, completely full out of all those minerals and metals, and it's back into the river water supply cleaner than ever. So we covered exactly.
Yeah, that's sweet.
And one thing I love about solvents extraction is that we can go green a lot more than most people.
Green as fuck.
So a lot of companies, we'll go to our access room next just because it's on the way. So a lot of companies, when they do washes, they don't actually have we have the access trichome system. They'll use like garbage bags, like a big old garbage thing, so wash with a spoon. They'll actually have other sifters and they'll kind of pour it over. Some companies use the Osprey. We actually partnered with Peer Pressure. That was our parent company coming in. They kind of taught us the ropes. So we use all Peer Pressure technology, including the access trichome separator. This room, as you can tell, so if I have Bic OG in there, right? I'm going to wash it for the next 2 weeks. I know that if I wash it on 20 RPMs or 25 RPMs or 35 RPMs, I get a larger yield for my time because I have 8 hours to wash product. Also, something that separates from most companies, we won't stop at 4 clicks. Israel can attest to this. We'll get to 15, 16, 17, if that thing's dumping, we're taking it. That's why when we work with a lot of companies for toll deals, we get a lot of like numbers than other people. We do wash slower than most people, which is a problem. They go, why are you taking so long? But when we bring them an extra 2,000 grams compared to them getting 750, they stop moving. Yeah. So this machine's powered by air. We do have air compressors over there. The only thing electric in here is our pump right here. Okay. So during the actual washing process, all the water that fills this vessel is always recycled through and out. The ice that's put into the wash itself kind of adds more, and that's what we dump out. But we're always green in the sense that we're continuously using the same water over and over. So during the wash, if you see those black bags over there, it's got like a black, and that's got the kind of like the plastic circle around it. You're going to actually get that clean, kind of tap it off. You're going to bring it over to this big guy, you're going to take it off, put it in. You're going to fill it up with 5 would be 25 pounds, or 5 buckets of ice. We're going to fill with our cold water system going through our chiller, get it down to 32 degrees or 38 degrees, because by that time our thermometer's on the bottom, all the cold's at the top, and the heat's right, blah, blah, blah. Basically, you want to get nice and chilly. Then you're going to take your weed out, dump it in, push it down, get it nice and soaked. You want to hydrate it. It's about a 15 to 20 minute process. After that, you take another bucket of ice, kind of layer it over it like a cake, push that down, let it hydrate, and you walk away, let it kind of chill. That gets all the trichomes wet, easy to break off. After that, sometimes you need to break it up a little bit with your paddle, but other times you bring this bad boy over, you drop it down, and this works like a Betty Crocker. Just back and forth, nice and gentle. And what you think is this is what's causing all the trichomes to fall off. That's not the case. The ice is the main agitator. You want to be gentle. Trichomes are so delicate, they are basically a phallic structure. They got a head and a stalk. And if you break that off, it causes different microns to come through. You want the 73, I guess anywhere from 120 to 73 microns, and that's the perfect head and stalk. If you beat it up too hard, you're just going to get heads, there's going to get stalks, which is your 160 and your 45 microns, which are lower grade. That's when you see the darker stuff. And rosin can be darker due to terpenes, or be darker due to chlorophyll damage, or just the fact that you beat the crap out of your stuff. So we put a lot of ice in, we let it go low and slow until we were like, this thing's not dumping anymore, we bump it up. Or if we find out like, this stuff's garbage, let's just run it through as fast as we can, because it's going to dump no matter what we do. You kind of get to do a science experiment every time. But ice is an agitator. It actually gets pumped through, so the air process pumps through a cash pump. We'll have all of those, so those multicolored bags are different micro levels.
You can see the different size here, the color chart, which is very helpful for me.
And that's what separates the quality of stuff. So you got your purple bag is literally so thin it would stop dirt from going through. So we don't actually use the purple bag. We want the dirt to get out of our product. Right. We use the white bag, which is a 40 micron, which I guess it's orange now, right?
Yeah, it's orange.
We changed a brand, so that's not technically there. Our white, our 45 microns are lowest level, and that's kind of your rosin carts. Your 160 is kind of your rosin carts as well. Your 190, you'll have plant matter as well as it will have broken stalks and stems. Your 73 is where you get your perfect match. That's where you get your real quality, like light amber colored terpene rosin. Right. So we'll actually separate those in different trays, put them in, and we decide if they are A, light enough to go into an A group, or if they're B, it's kind of dark, we gotta put it into carts, or this stuff's so gross, we're putting it into edible oil. Because sometimes when most of these companies, they don't care, like they'll put a product that's garbage. I've been holding on to stuff for 8 months because I'm not going to put it in grams, I'm not going to put it in carts. It's gross, I tested it myself, no one's going to like it, we don't want to put our product in lots. I can easily put that in edibles and people can enjoy that, they won't even taste the rosin, it'll be overshadowed by gummies and stuff. So another fun fact about this room, it does have its own independent AC unit. It's going to be actually located right there above the tile, you can't see it. That's another way we keep our yield down with the chiller. What else is interesting about this room? The people that did the Bass Pro Shop, the one, if you're going back to Chicago, it's like the big triangle guy, they did their floors, and they screwed up. So water actually pools a bit over here. Fun fact about this room, this flooring will help dry, so there's a little bit of wet in here for Friday, and we did do a little bit of quick cleaning, but this floor actually facilitates drying, so eventually this will all dry up. But this is where most of the magic happens. So once we get all the water through, we get all of our bubble hash in our bags. Israel would go in, he'd take his paddle or his spoon, it's in ice water because if it's warm, the bubble hash sticks and you just kind of pointless, you just have it all over your stick. You shake out all the water, you scoop it up almost like it's, I'd say like a pancake batter. you want it to have less water as possible because the next process is freeze drying. You're pulling all the water out. You scoop your pancake batter in. You kind of shake it out. You want a nice and thin layer because the chunkier it is, harder it is to draw out all that water. And then you have frozen material. You got to put back in for the next day. And then, so you put that in a cart, you run it back in, and that's when you run into our next process, which is going to the freeze dryer.
Oh, we got some stuff.
Oh, we do have some bubble hash that's frozen. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
The
it
bubble
something
hash that's
exciting?
frozen right now is Pick OG. And we'll actually get a look at it, because we don't work on the weekends. Freeze drying takes anywhere from 16 to 24 hours. So we do let our bubble hash freeze at negative 10 degrees over the weekend on Fridays. If not, it's immediately into the freeze dryer. So we can actually look at some weed that's what I consider lower quality. Then we'll look at some medium quality as well. I think the Bickett's in here.
Yeah, bigger.
And we're also going to learn not to judge a book by its cover because I'll show you why that Bickett actually is interesting to me.
Okay.
And to you as well. So this is what bubble hash looks frozen. It is kind of like a darker pancake batter. This is, I believe, is your 73. Just I can't really tell because the tips are kind of frosted. But so 70. This is your best kind of your high quality material. We're going to actually on Monday, we're going to take this, and actually it's kind of cool because the freeze dryer has a little bit of ice on it. We're going to bring it over here, and we're going to go to the freeze drying process, which you can even see the ice is melting over. We let it melt over the weekend. It drains out the bottom of that bucket. But the job for this machine is it's going to take all the water that's in there, it's going to collect it around the edges, like it is here. It's going to completely dry our product. So that way when we put it back in the freezer, when we want to sift it, there's no wetness. Because if there's any wetness in your rosin, it's going to crackle on your nail, and it's like the 4th of July, except you're holding it in your hand. You don't want that. We do have 3 separate different kinds of harvest rights. My favorite's this guy. I usually favor it. The lab Concos are most expensive. That's why I don't like using it. But so that's kind of what we do to get the bubble hash dry. After that, we'll look at the next process. So this is the Bickett OG. You can kind of see there's a lot of just bad trim in there, almost a little bit of bud rot, definitely some mold, which we kill in our process. We can actually have up to 700,000 parts per million of mold in our process, and by washing it out and freezing it and then pressing it on the press, we kill all of it. I have never had anything fail for mold. The only thing I've ever had fail was for hydrogen cyanide, and those guys basically lied about their test results, and they're bad people. So, judging this book by its cover, I see the brown in it. It looks gross. No smell to it. Usually freezing things, like if you ever had bad meat, you have to wait till next week. You freeze in the freezer, the chicken doesn't smell anymore. I've had to do that my whole life. My mother always hated me because I never actually ate the meat she bought. But I'm looking at it, looks bad. When you pull out an actual nug itself, the nug itself looks frosted. I mean, there's a little bit of decay in there, but I wish I could actually break it open. I'm a little afraid to. But the nug itself looks decent. So when people do the fresh frozen process, the most common way is to take the actual plant itself, cut it at the bottom, throw it in a flash freezer, and throw it in a bag. Some people defan it, and they cut off all that brown stuff. So like those guys over here, they partially defan it. We still have some sugar leaf in it. But they trim it in a different way. So when I'm looking at the brown stuff, it's just kind of them being lazy. And what I'm really looking at is that trichome infested nug. And usually a good wash, you'll get about 4 to 5 trays. That's about 300 grams of bubble hash, maybe 3% on average.
And these are all the same strands?
This is all from one wash. This one got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trays, not complete trays.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's judging a book by its cover. It looks really bad, washes really well.
Yeah.
And when you look at the bud itself, when you look at the structure itself, you want it to be open and wispy. The harder and more condensed the bud is, the harder it is for me to break open that trichome. I want it open. That stuff that you usually like, that looks like larvae kind of things. We love it, especially if it's trichome infested. So usually when we get stuff in, it's obviously frozen in, but if I was to break that up, it'd be very larvae, very open. The bud has a lot of crevices, perfect for washing. I do have some.
Why does it make it perfect for washing?
So when I beat it up, like if it's a condensed bud, when I'm hitting it with the ice, it's not getting all the stuff on the inside. When it has all those crevices, it's actually, like also if you break open one of those nuts that's hard, the inside's not wet. Those ones that are open with the crevices, it's completely soaked, so it's easier to break down. Eventually, you'll find that the harder condensed nugs, you're going to get about 1.5 to 2% yield, and those open larvae ones go anywhere from 3 to 5. And it's just basically the openness of it, the ability to deflower and get broken down compared to the hard condensed nug that you got to beat up for a while. And I don't think we've ever had hard nugs, but back in the beginning, it does make a decent product, but when you're trying to sell it, you have to come out like, we're a discount brand. We want to bring rosin to the people. I hate seeing that people are going to resin and sugar and shatter when they could be getting good quality rosin because it's $100 for some people. We sell like at trap stores right now, we're $15, and you'll see our quality later. But you know, we really value the fact we want to bring rosin to the forefront. The fact that people even know the difference between resin and rosin does make me, you know.
Yeah, because it's kind of like how I was just explaining to him, but he had conversation before. Like, I've had rosin, but until I started hanging with him and we started being friends and stuff like that, it was like, oh, rosin, like a wax, or I didn't really wasn't educated on it until he was like, hey, like it's actually some good rosin on here. So
yeah, the first time I had a rosin cart compared to a 510 distillate cart, I used to love the distillate because it's like wild cherry and all the fruity flavors. But then you have a real rosin cart, and after one hit, my throat doesn't hurt, and I don't feel like I'm gonna get a little extra breath in me. It's just a cleaner way to smoke. And we started medical, and the medical market when we got in went from 13% to 3% in 1 month, and we had to we tried to keep our license for 3 years, and we had to forfeit it this year just because it's too much money to renew and not get any sales from. But we started as a medical company.
Why is it the medical side harder than?
Medical side just seems to be we're so cheap. No one needs to go get a medical card to get that discount. Like in Illinois, when you most people that I know in Illinois got a medical card, so they can skip this. They have a weird THC percentage tax, and then if it's over a certain percentage, it's above threshold. But people got their medical card because they don't want to pay $120 for a 1 gram cartridge because of the taxes that are being. That's also why I'm worried with the 32% being dropped in this year soon. It's going to kill a lot of our mom and pop shops. But I'm sorry. I got lost in sauce.
I asked him the same question, like why is the medical market like going outside of like what you can see? Because I've had conversations with bro, and I would tell him like maybe it's because more dispensaries are more like out there, like they're more available. Like even where I'm from, I live in Wayne County. I can't tell you one medical person out there,
right?
And everybody be like, you should go medical, and I'm like, okay, who, where?
Right?
They like,
well,
but they know the people.
Right, I got friends in Kentucky who are like, I had to go medical, or else I just wouldn't be. They're only medical right now, but it's like if I also had to, they have an overstate rule that the state itself enacted, so they can go to a different state, but it's like it's ridiculous pricing. But I have a lot of friends who had a medical card who just did not renew it because they come up here and they can get 9 pounds for $15 an ounce. It's like, why would I do that? Because I mean, I don't want to be in the system. I don't want to be tracked, and I don't. You know, the fact that it takes away your right to own like a firearm.
But somebody just told me that wasn't true.
I just signed my right away. I signed my right away to own a transport company. I signed my right away to own a consulting, like doing compliance for people company, and I signed my right away to own a firearm as an owner of a business. So that's why, like, I don't know. That's like you're sticking my Second Amendment, man.
Yeah, because somebody told me that wasn't true. The guy from Gyms and Genetics.
Oh, he told no.
Yeah, he corrected me. It was like because I told him like the only reason why I don't have one is because
he's the only one that I've heard that.
Maybe that's in Michigan.
He's the only one that I heard you can get a firearm. Everybody else has told me what.
They told me I can only get a hunting shotgun, and it has to be licensed for sport, not for like self-defense.
Right. Yeah, maybe Dan's just like fuck it, I'll just own a gun.
Probably.
We just and
I'm never going to own a firearm, but it's the fact that they're like telling me I can't. It's the little rebel in me is like, you can't tell me what to do, man. I'm 21 years old. I'm an adult. But so after we get in that frozen form, it comes out here. It's going to be nice, dry, and sandy. And we make something called a boat. So we'll put down a large parchment paper. We'll kind of fold something into look like a box. We'll freeze up. They're actually both in there because they were used yesterday. But we'll freeze our sifters in our freezer here. We'll pull it out. We'll sift all our bubble hatch. So it looks like a big pile of sand. Then we take our 25 micron nylon bags. We fill them up. We double bag them. We double press them with our pre-presses, which are
still dirty.
they're right there actually.
Friday was a big
and after
day.
that, we use our our Long Peak presses. Twin Peak is the other brand. Long Peak is the one actually that I really do enjoy. You can actually even flip this inverted. You can have it going a different way. So when you press, you take your medium-sized micron, parchment paper. We have that because it fits perfectly here. If it's too big, it's not going to fit. And then also, if it's too small, the rosin will leak out. You fold it in half, kind of hamburger style. You put it in the back on this little clip right here. You flip it in. You make sure it's even. Oh, that's okay. I actually flipped it there because I was cleaning. It don't matter. You clip it in the back. You flip it here. You're going to flip your edges in and fold it so that way no rosin goes down. You can also put parchment paper here and just let it drip all the way down on it. And you're going to, I can turn it on. I'll do some real quick. this right here is our old used nylon bags. We can send this off to a hydrocarbon lab and they can blast it and bring it back as distillate. That's why you hold on to it and save them. The metric tag I have in the office, so I apologize. Everything here needs to be labeled with metric tag or else you're going to have a client. I think we ran out on Friday, but it's here, so if they ever come, I have it ready. And you can see there's still some of these trimmings and whatnot on there, but this is what your nylon bags look like. You're going to have 2 of these. These will be a lot flatter, like almost like this thick. You don't want it too big or else you have something called a blowout. You're going to take your paper. Let's fold it in half. You want to make sure it's nice and even, touching, because if it's not even, it will spray. It will splayed in here, and it's just going to be a pain in the butt. Put in the back. You want to make sure both sides are even. So you can put your hand right here. You don't want to touch this. This will be hot when you're working. You fold your top up, your bottom, and you fold down. You put your 2 nylon bags in here. You want to make sure that both sides are first kissing and are equally spaced. These are going to push on each other. So if this is like this is going to come out. You're going to bubble hash hit you. It's also going into your rosin, giving you imperfections in your rosin. It's going to fail your test. You don't want bubble hash in your product. If we do have an incident where bubble hash comes in, we just scrape it out on the side, no big deal. But again, that's something that we want to avoid. And by double bagging it, you help avoid blowouts. Blowouts are usually the cause of just going too fast on pressure, not having it completely flat. That's why we pre-press it to make sure it's nice and flat and even. And also overfilling the bags, making them too large. You want them almost uniform in size. So you'll have it on each side. I say this is even. It doesn't have to be perfect because obviously. And the air is off. This is also powered by air. Air, heat, pressure, that's all we're about. You press this down. It'll say, obviously it's not going to let me do anything. It'll say hold for 2, 3, 1. It's trying because there's a little bit of air in there, but not really. Oh, there's enough air in here to come down. It'll come down on this. The 2 bags that are there will start being pressed. And we go low and slow. 185 is what we do for our doubles. We usually get anywhere. We try to go as low as possible as 140, but sometimes it just doesn't press that well. We usually around 160 for our pressing. It's just based on the product. I've had stuff that's 5-star bubble hash where I could just go with my hands like this, and that stuff is few and hard to find, especially at a price point where you can sell in the market. I wish you could sell really fire bubble hash, but as a bomb and pop shop who tries to hit the lower end of the market, buying stuff for 50 cents and trying to sell for 7 doesn't make sense. And 50 cents a gram for that, it ends up being, you need like an 8% yield to break even. The cost per gram is like $25 per gram, so I'd have to sell it for 26 to make $1. Makes no sense to me. But as this presses, the rosin will kind of pour out. And he's got some Instagram stuff that I'll show you the exact same equipment. After about 3 minutes, we pull it off. Stop the press. I don't know if it'll come all the way up. It does. It's got power in it. You take it off. You're going to put your finger here. You have tongs because you don't want to touch it sticky. Actually, this is nice. And you're going to tong it off. You want to make sure you go nice and slow because this is going to be all around. Like, you've seen that picture of the dog that got caught in the rain on the porch and it just looks like an outline of a dog. That's basically what it is. You're going to have that white outline right here. All this will be bubble hash. You don't want to get your bags in here. That's how you get stuff like this swaying around. You want to pull it out nice and even. And what we do is we double press everything. We want to get the most out of everything that we can. And this is what we put into our B group. Anything that's second press goes into our B group for rosin carts. We do never, ever, ever put rosin cart quality with our good quality. Because you're just ruining product at that point. And that's how we kind of, we'll smoke today some ice sangria. That's got 14.17% terps. Most of our terps are about 10%. And the way we kind of successfully achieve that is by separating our microns. So some people say full spectrum all the way. I say I'd rather give you a lighter taste to your product.
Gotcha.
I mean, and they have cases, but at the same time, if you look at our test results, I still have CBN, CBG. The entourage effect is still happening. I'm not taking away any terpenes or cannabinoids. I'm just...
Full spectrum would mean that we grab all the bags and we use that to make rosin, which gives you like a bigger yield. But since we separate the rosin by grades, the larger stuff get edibles, and we just keep, even though we'll get a smaller yield, but we get the best stuff for rosin. That makes sense.
That way we keep our promise of not only having a higher quality product while using lower end material, but we can also sell to consumers who would go after, you know, sugar wax and like hydrocarbon rosins or resin stuff. I can now, resin at their store is $12 a gram. You can buy my stuff for 14 or 15 with a discount and get it for really cheap. And you can have a high quality product that I believe if a person who had cancer or who had some type of disability or disease had smoked it, it would make me happy that they smoking mine instead of that.
Yeah. Is the product everywhere in the state, or
so
is it just
we
locally?
So as we've gone through, we do have some stores that do constant reorders like Trap Stars. We are in the UP and the fire stations, so that's really our most constant. We are kind of spattered. We do try to get into most stores, but as of right now, the competitive market, being a smaller end brand, competing with 710 Labs, Eastside Alchemy, a lot of these larger brands, it's hard for us to get entry in. The Fire and some other these discount brands as well are existing. That's why we're trying to get a little bit lower than them right now, because I don't ever like to insult anybody's company. Everyone has great product, but if you compare our product with their product, we're lighter, higher terp, higher percentages, more for the consumer. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds. I hate saying that, but it's I don't want to lie. I would rather because that right there, that's probably second press that they're selling, and that's probably stuff that they're buying in bulk for like $4 and flipping, and I hate seeing that because people are going to represent that because no one wants to buy $100 1 gram jar of rosin and that's your first experience. Most customers are on a budget base like ourselves. They can't go out below $250 on a day. They can come buy 7 grams of my stuff and walk away for like $60. There's like a baller bucket for we'd sell us like $40. Like that right there really helps us elevate the rosin game compared to where the resin game's at. And I mean, just through bud tender educations that we've done, when I've gone to do vendor days, the amount of bud tenders that are confusing resin and rosin and not knowing what live rosin is compared to flower rosin, it's there's a lot of not need for education, but more influence from the rosin companies because they're very knowledgeable people. But it just these small little caveats I had to get taught by someone who's been doing it for 6 years, and I still am learning every single day.
Right.
So like. Nothing against the bud tenders, but there's always this discrepancy.
There's always something to learn. Right,
and like if you're not talking to a dude who's a chemist, like we had a chemist back with our parent company. I don't know half the things he says, but I literally half the things he says. I'm like, pentyl carbohydrates? He's like, yeah, you take that to break down, and it's a short path distillation process compared to a long path. I'm like, I'm gonna stay in the saltless side where I just wash the weed. That's cool with me. Right. But we kind of saw our lower quality weed. I think we have truffle cake in here. This is from the same grow, kind of packaged the same. You can see a lot of sugar leaf. They didn't take their time trimming this as well. But this again,
this is like pulling the flower here, or y'all just.
So we do toll deals. So a lot of companies that are our size, when we purchase our cannabis, even at 22 cents a gram, and we wash it, it's 2% of the. So if we get 100 pounds, we're probably getting that's 400 or 45,000 grams. We're probably getting 450 grams. That's just how it has to be for us. So we have to sell it at a high price. By doing toll deals, we keep our costs low because it's only labor. We're getting product out there at a cheaper price without killing ourselves, and we're also getting influence from other people as well. So like. There's a lot of fresh frozen on the market. I don't know if you saw the MICA post where it's like 100% or 300% more fresh frozen this year than there has been in the last 2 years. So there's a lot of fresh frozen out there, and there's a lot of people holding on to a lot of outdoor. And that's why, in Croptober, when everyone's kind of reaping, that's when we kind of jump on this stuff. A lot of the stuff is still from October. And we're probably going to still be watching stuff in October for the next 6 months. But so this is from a grow called Organic. They are up in the... Oh no, I'm sorry. This is Galantis.
Yeah, I've had some of these though.
Galantis. Yeah. Jeff's wrote. He's saying. I thought it's spelled Geoff, and I thought it was Geoff, and I was like, "Is Geoff coming?" He goes, "No, it's Jeff." It's Geoff. We're gonna insult the man. He goes, "I'm Jeff." I'm like, "Shit." But Jeff's a really cool guy. He's really knowledgeable, and I'm really excited about his product because I judged the book by its cover, and I was like looking at it like, oh, it's brown. It's got all these blemishes, and that's the beautiful thing about rosin.
So how do y'all choose which companies you want to get flour from?
So we usually try to go see if they have any previous bubble hash wash data. A lot of these companies are going to like 9 or 10 different companies. Like our last company worked with Quality Cannabis. They worked with 9 of the processors as well as us. We ended up being one of their top 2. It's between us and Archive, but we just couldn't wash fast enough. Where we have one wash system set up compared to a company that has 40 employees. It's me, him, and Derek here. So it's his army of 3. But they had some pretty high quality stuff. They had like Moroccan peaches, nectarine jelly. They had a couple cookie strains that we know wash well. So we go pheno hunting, but most of the time we've built these relationships. Like I bought from Alex at Organic 2 years ago. So like we try to keep the people we work with, the people that we trust together, because, you know, we've been burned 5, 6, 7 times. Yeah. We've had people send product that has hydrogen cyanide in it after they send us test results that don't, and we had to throw away beakers, we had to scrub the machine completely, we had to throw away tubes, we had to, I mean, it's just, it's hard to find people you can trust. But at the same time, you know, that was us being novices. Now that we're a little more green, we can kind of pick out those people. You find these kind of people that have large amounts of quantity you've trusted before and, you know, work with. But yeah, mostly phenotype hunting, strong relationships, and I would say, honestly, location. UP, getting a transport out there, fresh frozen transport, I bought from Niguanier. It's United Green is their name. Great people, love their product, but if you can't get a reefer truck down here at negative 10 degrees, the shit comes in at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I have chlorophyll seeping out because it's getting wet, it's getting warm, all that moisture's coming out. Right, and it needs to be negative 10 or negative 40. These are negative 10. Our freezers back there are negative 40, or I'm sorry, negative 20. The negative 40 one we have, we sold to get 3 more. Yeah, that would actually, when you see green product, it's just basically that green color seeping out. You see purple product, it's because the leaves are purple and seeping out. Chlorophyll issue, and also gives you that grass taste that no one likes. We'll go with the garage. Oh no, we'll do the vape jet next. So the vape jet is one of my favorite pieces of equipment. This machine could do 100 carts every 8 minutes. It's extremely accurate. I can have it, so let's say for example, my Tick Mini Pros, these are disposables with a smaller tubing. I can change out my needle. I can put on a jig, which just, I need to clean it now because I touched it with my bare hands. But a jig itself, you kind of put it over the actual 50 itself. That way the machine doesn't miss at all. When people hand filling, the issue is you can skimp your people sometimes. You know, you're not always like, I always try to overfill, that's my issue, and you'll end up, you know, using 1,000 grams of distillate, 200 grams, or whatever the number is, I think it's 6% of terps, so it'd be like 60 grams of terps or whatever, and you come out with 1,000 carts when you put 1,060 or 1,060 in there. That's why when you have the perfect 0.5, you're not getting any loss, and you're not screwing your customer at all. And you know, at the end it does splatter, but that's when you take your needle, just hand fill in there.
Toothpicks and
So the toothpicks were added because these, so rosin at a certain temperature will drip. It takes we have 2 methods of kind of decarbing our rosin for the vape jet. We'll either do it at 220 for 8 hours, or we'll do a longer 160 for 5-6 days, depending on how long we want to, you know, wait to get the product in. This will get dripping on it. This will get dirty, so we'll actually poke through the holes so the machine can still read it. And then we use the Q-tips to clean it before, so we don't have to constantly take it over there, dip it in ISO, wash it, dry it out, then bring it back. Right. But this is run by nitrogen. Nitrogen itself is basically a natural CRC machine, so it's cleaning everything it goes through. The nitrogen is immediately exuded out in bubbles, so you don't have any kind of issues with it. So I don't have to say my product's not solventless because it's technically a solvent's being introduced, but it's not. It's reduced. It's just as a propellant. But our distillate we put through here becomes out cleaner and purer. So this machine not only helps with quality issues, it also helps with just total waste. It's a beautiful thing. I love it a lot. You can pre-program it when it's done. I did want it to do like a Peter Griffin. The other person that works here has a great Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, or just zoinks over there and you have to look at it. But right now it just goes ding like a microwave.
How long does it take for the entire process?
So if it's depending on depending on the product itself, rosin we try to go low and slow. That way we don't overfill and cause bubbles. Distillate I could do 100 in 6 minutes, 6 minutes 52 seconds every single time. By the time I capped it, pressed it down, and flipped it, I had to get ready back to bring out the next one. Rosin we do go slower. We've had some issues filling our rosin disposables before, so you know there's no point in rushing something and just making halfies and having to go back and hand fill it and make a nightmare of a process. Right. So we do go in slow. There's less dripping, like you know, with the heat and whatnot. But yeah, I'd say 8 to 10 minutes for rosin disposables. Rosin carts are the same as rosin, or as the 510 thread distillate carts, probably 6 minutes. The whole process itself, I could probably do about 5,000 carts a day, up to 10,000 carts is what the company recommends. VapeJet also is a great company, and I'll give them a shout out because anytime you need help, you scan the QR code, and put you on a list with a bunch of their agents. They call you. They're very polite. I've talked about 6 of them. They're very knowledgeable. Sawyer is one of the, I believe he's the owner, or he talked to Robert, one of our associates, a lot, but he's very, very meticulous, very generous with his time. He will make sure that your process goes right. They're the ones who designed our jigs for us to make sure that we made everything well. So they're a great company. I definitely recommend this machine. It has saved a lot of time, anguish, and hand pain. Because if there's one thing I've learned from opening 10,000 bags in 1 week and then having to go do things with your hands and sifting is you're going to get arthritis. I'm going to put this over here because I touch it with my bare hands. You can record it here. Just I'll tell you when you can. This is where we power all our machinery. The 2 air compressors on the left go to our long peak presses. These 2 go to our access room. We also have 2 ports out there so we can air blow stuff. Also, if you need to fill your tires, we have a little tire thing here too. That's where our nitrogen is stored. You can kind of see when you look on the walls how we get everything through, where everything goes through, where the balance downs go through. This room, I don't like a deep end. Stems might not have a lot of percentage in it, but I'll take trichomes for anything.
What type of trim do you prefer?
So we'll stay away from trim. I want a full plant, full stock. Trim itself, you'll have it's always green. It's always very minimal. Yeah. Our best company we've ever worked with, I love them. Twisted Heights. They're a great fresh rosin company. I wish we could work with them again, but where we are as a company, we just can't afford to try to get in the market. We're thankfully with Israel, he's bringing us a little bit more marketing. Hopefully, get our name out there more, and we can start to
marketing guy right there.
Yeah, we start to launch our new brand that we have as a higher end brand for people who have the money to spend on a higher end rosin. But they had some stuff. Their trim is better than most of the stuff I see in the market. So if I ever get this, it was blueberry shortcake, and it was delicious. Oh, dude, it was so good. We submitted to I wanted to submit to a contest, but we sold out of it.
It's like any blueberry.
So these igloos, as well as being our little mad engineer turning it into a chiller, we can actually freeze product coming in. So there's a lot of methods. There's a flash freezer, there's a dry ice method, which is what we do with these coolers. I don't recommend it. We do it if they're, for example, are transporting a very long way and they can't get a reefer truck. We'll put some dry ice in these. They'll send it out, send it back. But you can actually freeze your product doing that, or some companies just throw them to their walk-in freezer at -20. But I recommend using a flash freezer, taking the whole stock, pushing it through. It's the best way to preserve the trichomes. Go and get an adult use license. So our medical experience was actually a failure. We didn't get a single sale. Like I said, 14%, or I think it was 13% of the market turned to 3% when we joined in. So what we did is we continued just washing the same way we washed. Same slogan, fire in, fire out. Just continue to try to make quality product. And we just adapted that way. We just didn't really... We tried to, cater to the medical consumer, but the medical consumer disappeared. Yeah. So we had to just try to make fire rosin for everybody.
How long did the licensing process take for adult use?
So we had a consulting company help us in the beginning. The consulting company itself helped us get a medical license first, and we thought we were going to be grandfathered into an adult use license. The whole process itself should have taken about 3 months, then about 2 months of inspections, the BFS inspection. Then you have your CRA, who at the time when we got our license was still the MRA. Yeah. So we had our MRA, but now CRA inspections. And they just make sure they walk through that you're compliant, got all your systems on. You can take pictures of anything that's going on in your camera system. But it took about 6 months, and this market is non-competitive. Mm-hmm. We originally tried in Illinois, which is a competitive market, right. And we submitted 7 licenses for I think it was like $15,000, $2,500 a license, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So I think it was more than that. But and we had 7 licenses out. We did everything we could. We hired a company to help us write it. We put a veteran at 51% of our company. I'm a social equity advocate in Illinois because I've been arrested for cannabis use. So we had all the things going for us. No matter what we did, couldn't get in the top 50. They actually said that there was some type of people were going to sue the city of Illinois because there was some type of collusion. Apparently one of the writers was involved with some of the other people who got retail licenses. On the 3rd round of licensing, I think we're 16th or 17th before the list. We missed the cutoff, so we were really disappointed in Illinois. The opportunity opened up here, and we were told that this market's not competitive because unlike in Illinois where they say you have to submit here to the city and we'll tell you what district to go to, the city can decide how many licenses they want to give. And you can go to the city and say, can you add another one for us, which they actually did for us. Right. So it took us about 7 to 8 months, and in that time we were still doing construction, so I mean, you can keep yourself busy, but yeah, about 8 months. There's a lot of bureaucracy.
You enjoy being more hands-on versus like just hiring a few people to do it versus you doing it yourself?
So in that, actually the first 3 years, I was a single and only washer.
Okay.
I also would press. I operate the vape jet. So I started as a lab technician. I am one of the owners, but we didn't want to put myself in a position of authority without actually know what we're doing. We had someone come in as our head of operations. He basically kind of taught us the ropes, taught us how to do everything, and I fell in love with it. Washing, I do love just seeing the product come out. Pressing, just watching that yellow amber waterfall come out, it's beautiful. But I'd say it's more hands-on. I am our chief compliance officer, so I do all of our metric work. I do all our licensing updates. Okay. I do all of our city hall. Like we just got renewed for application in City Hall. Just got our license renewed up there. Okay. So we, I would say the paperwork part's a little bit monotonous. The reason I did this is because I love cannabis, man. Yeah. I always wanted to be part of the industry. I always wanted to make a product that's good, and I always wanted to, learn more about it. And I've only been here for 3 years. There's so many more things for me to learn, but it's a love affair. Yeah. And I would say hands-on all the way. I'll gram until my hands hurt. I'll make carts until my hands bleed. This is my dream. I love it, and I can't believe it's a reality.
So how did you get into the cannabis industry?
So I went to Benedict University, and I graduated from there. Me and Max Boone, we're Boone Labs, so 3 of the owners are Boones. Actually, one of the other owners is, fun fact, is Ed Cohen. He's considered the best powerlifter of all time. Okay. So it's kind of a weird combination of people. Yeah. Max is a powerlifter. He used to train with the Chinese Olympic team, and he kind of worked out. And he kind of met at Cohen, and they kind of got together. Max has been a friend of mine since wrestling in high school, and we've always had a dream together since we were 13, benching at strong camp for football, because we didn't realize we were going to be 5'7". We thought we'd be giants and be an outside tackles. No, we're both short dudes. But we were doing powerlifting, going, man, we can't wait till it's legal. We're going to do something with it. We're going to make it. We originally thought we were going to be a retailer, and that's where they're kind of like they own 7-Elevens in the city and whatnot, and they have a lot of just knowledge in general of retail, kind of just business, but we walked into processing. But I met Max a long time ago, longtime friends, and we kind of just both have a love for cannabis, and we both pursued it. Rick and Robert, his uncle and his father, helped us with a lot of financing, and their overall knowledge also kind of contributed to our team. Ed being an angel investor and just also an overall just beautiful guy and very famous person as well. I didn't realize that until I was like, a lot of old heads know him. Like, I was looking in the city, I was like, oh, Ed's calling me. He goes, is that Ed Cohen? I'm like, yeah, that's Ed Cohen. He goes, you need to let me hit the phone up for you. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna let you talk to this dude. I don't know. Like, he's so humble. You wouldn't realize how famous he is. He was at the Arnold Classic as one of the judges, and you're like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? He's like, I was at the Netherlands doing like a lifting thing with Thor from like Game of Thrones. You're like, what the fuck is your life, man? He's in a video game and whatnot. But we all just kind of a collective group that kind of started in Illinois, and then we took that interest in Illinois and brought it to Michigan.
How would you compare Illinois versus Michigan's cannabis industries?
Illinois is full of greed. Illinois seems to think that, marijuana is just a money product. Just from my own experience, the licensing renewals, it's $450,000 in other places. For, I think it was a grow over here, it's $24K for me to renew my license here. Wow. Also, as a person who's lived in Illinois his whole life, it's just I hate to swear, but show. There's so much corruption. The aldermans, it's all white label. I don't trust them with the tax money. One thing about Buchanan is you can go down the street right now, they're fixing our roads. That's with our money. They fixed Route 12 with cannabis tax money. Right. I know that they're doing things right here, but in Illinois, and just the licensing process soured me. But when I go back and I go to a Sunnyside and I walk in there and the carts are still $90, I'm going, what are they doing with this money? They're not putting it in the Chicago school systems. They're not helping the education system anywhere in the state. They're not trying to fix roads. The literal bridges are falling apart. I don't know if you saw that ABC report 5 years ago. They're literally dilapidated. Illinois it's sour for me. I love Illinois. I'll always live there. It's my city, but the bureaucracy there is just horrible. Compared to Michigan, it seems to be like a small town like Buchanan, where they actually use those funds for good. Yeah. It's night and day.
Yeah, that's why I really love this part of Michigan, like West Michigan, Niles, this city, a few other smaller cities. Y'all are really like boosting the economy from cannabis. So it's like it's interesting to see. Like you see all like in Detroit, where we're from, you see like hospitals, police, different things. But cannabis in these smaller cities are literally fixing roads, like literally making this more of like a tourist attraction.
Exactly.
People coming, so.
Doing the Lord's work.
And before this, this town was known because there are 2 antique stores. And if you ever in Buchanan, check out the antique stores; they're awesome. But they're known for their and they, God, I wasn't here when they met the 2 gentlemen, but they advocated for cannabis. They've always been to any city council meeting, and they brought it in. It revived this town. I mean, there wasn't a Taco Bell here till last year. These small end business, like if you come here, check out the sweet shop downtown. They got gelato and great cakes and like straight from Italy. They wouldn't be here. The library looks fantastic. I mean, it revitalized this town. And I don't like to call Buchanan a cannabis town because there seems to be some negative stipulation with a lot of people around here that live here. But I will say it's a cannabis-friendly town.
Right. Definitely the neighbors love cannabis.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of people here, you have to respect the people that, you know, they might grow up with that stigma that cannabis is bad, and you know, they like, but you got to respect their opinion. And one thing I love about being a solvents company is I'm light industrial zoned. I don't bother nobody. I shoot air out every now and then. I have a trash can that smells like weed. You know, like
it's not harming nobody.
Yeah, not harming nobody. And you know, we could be replaced with the automotive industry that goes up until 11 o'clock.
Or black smoke, or
yeah,
the fumes.
And when Buchanan, I think back in the 70s, they had Clark Industries, and they had like a radio industry, like a stereo system industry. All that left besides Fatco. So, I mean, there was a lot of vacancies, and I'm really hoping that the cannabis industry bringing here is going to revitalize other parts, because when you go to those city council meetings, they talk about the city planners, so like, we're adding a taco place over here and here, we're going to have a city market, now we're throwing fest, because if they're doing construction there now, which I don't know, I can't 100% say it's our tax, like, from cannabis influence, but they're revitalizing that little concert area. They do farmers markets. It kind of brought a lot of attention. Right. It definitely did, and it allowed things to flourish.
So what do you guys think y'all can do within the community, like personally as a brand, to kind of further push the narrative that y'all have?
So cannabis education is number one. Right. Definitely trying to be an outstanding citizen and just upholding yourself and not being a shithead. So that way you lead by example, kind of thing. We do cannabis outreaches, bartender education things, kind of make sure that if it's someone who doesn't have education goes into a retail place, they get the right proper education. But besides that, we're, to be honest with you, pretty strung thin. We've tried to do other things, but we're all hands on deck. So we do try to put out informational things, but as of right now, we're barely making ends meet. We're doing a lot better than we were last year, but you know, with the income that we're making, we can't really help at this time.
No.
Yeah, it's something I've wanted to do. We do have Max goes out and does vendor days. He does have a. We try to set something up in the city where we do a slideshow and kind of do education, cannabis education, but we got beat by 7 engines, so they did that instead of us. They did it we want to do the senior center down on Reinierson. They ended up doing it, and I was like, oh, we can collab with them. But we've done stuff with the Redemption Foundation. We've done, we packed, on Christmas one year, we packed Christmas toys bought through the Redemption Foundation for children, I think it was either from struggling homes or children without a single family home. So we try to do charity outreach when we can, but you know, monetarily we're tight.
Gotcha.
The better, more demand, lower supply, the more money you're going to make. But if I could bring, obviously, you have to profit at some point. You want to bring good cannabis everywhere, but you see half these people come in here with a dream and then they walk out with nothing because they didn't plan ahead and they didn't try to, you know, you have to be a little bit of a businessman. At the same time, you want to be a stoner. But I would say New Jersey. I'd love to be somewhere in Arizona where it's warm, or Florida. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Boston would be kind of cool, but that's all selfish reasons. I am interested to also see if the federal government steps in here pretty soon and changes things up. I'm hoping they allow the states to do their own laws. That way things don't go corpo and they can kind of stay mom and pop business. They can kind of stay, you know, not Cresco everywhere, or you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'd be interested too. I know that they're probably also looking to see everyone else's successes, like Michigan did with Colorado. So yeah, I'm also interested as well. They'll probably do something more tourism friendly. I can imagine. Florida Man exists down there. There's got to be some type of lax rules out there.
Oregano, they'll come back. They'll sell dormant, like parsley and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I added this little extension here. That's like the stock from like last year.
Okay.
Rosemary, thyme, a bunch of shit. And then I added all these logs and stuff here, all this stuff just to like help pollinators and help like the bugs kind of like live in here, you know.
Yeah.
Little bees go in there.
Okay.
Just to promote more biodiversity.
Yeah.
That's it.
Straight on this.
Oh yeah, let's try to do that. I like to.
Oh, do you think?
Are they having an event this year again?
Oh yeah, Camp 710. Fuck yeah, where I can't wait.
So where was it at last year? I remember we was talking about that last year.
It's nearby. I can't remember the name of the city, but it's literally like 20 minutes from here.
in South Haven?
No, but we went to get coffee in South Haven. It's that close. Remember we
Isn't that
woke
the
up.
one where I had to keep dropping you off, picking you up, dropping you off? And then you're like, I want to good luck.
Yeah.
I want to get some coffee, and then I drove all the way there, pick you up, take you back.
Basically,
The one you did
I
the
almost
judging
died,
thing,
bro.
right?
Yeah. And we did the
Yeah, it was in South Haven.
covenant. I almost died, bro. I had some mushrooms. I had some mushroom chocolate, and I had like a little breakdown, dude. I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. I'm dehydrated. I got no signal. I can't get water. It was fine. It was like right there. It was no big deal.
So all of our caps are airtight. That's why you gotta push down and press like you're doing. Yeah. We try to make sure that the rosin stays nice and juicy for you. Sit that way.
I can never open one.
Thank you.
I might have a stand for a GoPro.
So that's actually Future Haze is our signature select item. So that's the most. That's when we kind of deemed the best of the best that we have currently. So that's our signature
I
select.
like the smell of it.
It's got a good. I can look up the lab results for you, but it's good. It's got some good numbers. Everything here is over 10% terps, except for I think raspberry moon cheese is 9. It says on this black Afghans 10 something. Benzino was 10 something. Unfortunately, I didn't. But so usually when I give him internal samples, I don't print out this. I don't print out the stickers. It's a thing of 35. But those guys have the.
perfect.
Sure.
You'll write the name of which one. Just line it up and see which one you want to start with.
Okay.
This is ready to go. You can do dork dab. The proxy's almost done. Oh, the
So-
proxy's done sharding.
Like I told you the first time we had smoked together, just give me a little overview.
Oh,
of how
gotcha.
to hit this and then-
Yeah.
Is the lighting okay? Should I shut
Oh,
the
you're
curtains?
perfect.
No, you good. You good. It's raw footage. Yeah.
So this one here would be your torch and banger. This
Okay.
is like the most I don't know, the most common way I guess you would
Quartz?
do it. Yeah, quartz banger. Heat it up, wait for it to cool, and then take a dab. But that could be a little bit aggressive. If it's your first time, then you got the cannabis hardware tea bucket, which I really like. Enjoy because you can flavor chase. You can go down in the temperature
Okay.
and then really get like a good feel of the flavor of the rosin.
Okay.
Same thing with this one, the proxy, which this one's honestly my favorite one. This is perfect for flavor chasing. This one, and then on the go, this is a problem for me. So I take this everywhere. Now I'm high everywhere, 24/7. Just in the car. Lunch break.
Right. Anytime on the man.
Before halftime soccer game. Get back in if they're ready.
Where you play soccer at around here?
A bunch of places. Berrien Springs, there's a couple of leagues there, and then in St. Joseph Kickers mostly.
Okay.
But I hurt myself, and I haven't been playing for a while. Whatever. I'm coming
You
back.
good
though.
now?
Yeah, it should be straight. Should be straight. Just a couple more weeks.
Can we
already
feed a torch food?
Yeah, you want to try the torch?
Do we fill it?
Yeah. Oh, I did feel it.
I did.
Oh, this one. Oh, that's right. I was gonna say no, that didn't. It's a lot going on.
No, you're good.
I'll try this one first.
Future
That
Haze.
one, Future Haze, hell yeah. So you would. Let me see. So you just grab a little dab. Little dab.
And one thing I really like about the Future Haze is the terps are really up there, but you don't get that dark amber orange color that you get when you get high terps. You still get that beautiful appearance.
You could
That's
do more
why,
of that.
honestly, it's a signature select item. Its appearance is what really surprised me. Everything else, you'll see with the RMC how much darker it is comparatively.
Gotcha.
It's kind of. I mean, I can load it up for you.
Yeah.
I load these up for you. And then
Cause usually I only I do try to rosin, but sometimes I might put it like on. Like
Yeah.
rolling up. But then at the events they always have these like where you can like a dab bar. So that's the only time. I actually want to get my own.
With those,
Yeah, or where I can do the rosin at home.
Have you seen those e-rigs? Like you don't have to get a puff though, but they have like little e-rigs, like a scorpion. I like those. You know what a nectar collector is? It's that stick with a little like metal on it.
Yeah.
I've been using rigs for the last 9-10 years, and I ended up just starting to use nectar collectors. Yeah, it seemed to not take as much. It's less waste for me, and to be honest with you, my wife outsmokes me by a lot. I'll smoke 2 grams a day, and I get outsmoked by my wife. So it's a hard reality. So we moved to a nectar collector, and we've had a lot less.
This is different from.
It's the same.
Yeah, I actually have one of those. I just.
We got it from the weed box.
You just gotta be careful if it's too hot. You're basically burning your
You're gonna
lungs.
fucking.
And if you take hot dabs, it will eventually kill stuff in your lungs. Like I think it burns the bronchioles that are in there, the hairs that like filter out where the simple diffusion of blood happens. It'll burn it. Because I mean, if you're torching that thing that's red hot, it's 1,000 degrees. You have to imagine the smoke's 1,000 degrees too. Even though it goes to the water and it's cooled, it's still. That's why I like doing my little nectar collector. It gets on the orange real quick. And, all done. I should have brought it.
Right. That's another way of doing it.
Variety of taking it. You got an e-rig here. Got an e-rig Sherlock, which is fucking sick. I love that little thing, dude.
This thing, that one,
Sherlock.
that proxy, I fucking love it. Hell yeah.
420? Exactly.
Live on the
Always good.
Elevated Lakes. Ken, Smoke Some Podcast. Izzy, we're out here doing a live testing with some of our products from Elevated Lakes. We got some other stuff in rotation. We'll mention that. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with the Future Haze. So let's blast off. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're ready, no rush. We're out here, we're chilling. Oh, sorry, real quick. Yeah, we're gonna try we're gonna use the Cannabis Hardware tea bucket. One of my favorite ways to consume dabs. But we also got traditional torch and banger. Shout out to First Street Glass. What the fuck is that? Buchanan Glass Shop. I'm sorry, Frank. What's that?
Fire Street?
Fire Street Glass Works from Buchanan, where we got the torch, the banger, and the setup. And we also got of course, the Puffco Proxy. Can't forget about that. We got some scorecards. We're doing the testing on appearance, smell, flavor, and effect, aroma, whatever. That's the more fancy way. We're gonna start with Future Haze, just for the stoners that forget.
I like the smell. Sorry, it looks good. Got like a good color to it as well. Kind of got like a glow when you kind of look at it from a distance. I like it.
Hell yeah.
I like how it look.
You want me to serve you up, or you just want to grab yourself?
You have so many passwords.
Here we go.
My fat fingers keep putting an R where there's supposed to be a T.
That's a good collab right
Yeah.
there. We're just doing our taste test. We got 5 more to go.
Okay.
So we don't want to get you fucked up on the first one. You know what I mean? Just be careful with the coil is hot.
Okay. Yeah, because I barely just grasped it.
Right? Go for it.
Do another one.
The total THC for this product is 75.16%. CBD is 0.42%. Total cannabinoids is 91.17%. Total terps is 8.33%. Fun fact, the most common terpene profile on here is B-carpheline at 2.67%. Then Valsaline, or Valencine, I can't speak well.
Balancing.
Too high to pronounce all these terpenes.
This sounds good.
But those are the most 2 common ones. This strain itself is very, very, it's my personal favorite. It's Boone Labs and Elevated Lake's current signature select item. It can be found in Trap Stars in New Buffalo. My favorite thing about this strain is just the color itself, along with the terpene profile. It has a nice flavor to it. As you see, it's going on the table. I believe it has a nice uplifting high. A lot of relaxing, no anxiety, but I kind of find that to be the case with all the strains we have here today.
For sure, bro. What do you think?
I'm gonna let you go first because you kind of hit it a little harder than I did.
Oh yeah, I got you. Let me see. Well, I already know what this one tastes like.
How would you describe it?
This is smooth hit for me.
Oh shit! Watch out! Sorry, that's gonna be hot. We don't want to do that. Ooh, you gonna burn yourself?
I forget if it was a Future Haze or Ice Sangria, but I almost get like a chocolatey profile from it. Kind of like an earthy, chocolatey profile.
Kind of like chocolatey, but like very like low key though.
Right, like almost watered down.
It's not as like harsh, but like very like content. Where it's like as soon as you like you can't smell it when you smelling it, but when you hit it, you can taste it.
The craziest thing for me about rosin is when I smoke it through different devices, I will have different flavorings.
For sure.
I smoke it in that guy and it'll taste sweet, almost have a citrusy flavor to it. I think that was the Black Afghan we tried. When I have it in my nectar collector at home, there's straight gas, earthy textures to it. But usually I, for the Future Haze and all three of them, I do get that chocolatey undertone. I'm a little biased on this one. This one I think is the golden goose of the bunch.
Which one you want to try next after that one?
This is
That is the Ice Sangria. You are a connoisseur. You got great taste, my friend. Good choice. Good choice.
It's nice when you can actually taste it.
I like this one. This one got like a citrus, fruity kind of smell. It smells like cinnamon a little bit.
When I smoke that, I get it tastes like it's like baked goods. Like it's not like a bread, but it's like a sweet
like
bread.
Peanut butter or something.
Like kind of, it's almost like a pastry. I don't know. THC is 69.57%, and something that a lot of people don't understand is that the terpene level is where you get that entourage effect. You get all those other like really strong effects. THC alone doesn't always mean best product. Sometimes I've smoked stuff at 68% that's gotten me so baked. I'm like, why am I going after anything like that's not like this?
Right.
So like 69.5% for THC. There's no CBD in it, but there's a total cannabinoid level of 85.24%, and that's where there's other I believe the top three. Oop, I just switched to a different strain. Sorry about that. I guess I've never actually used this on my phone, so this is kind of cool.
You want a dab, Piggy? All right, cool.
There's
Nice
1% of
Maybe on
THCV.
the proxy.
There's 2% of CBGA, CBCA.
Get crazy.
There's lots of other things floating around with this guy, but again, 14.25% terps.
That's turkey.
It's going to be flavorful.
Yeah, it smells good. I see that citrus. That's what I was thinking when I'm thinking sangria. You know, they put the fruit on top, they put like an orange and a lime and shit. So I'm like, it's gotta have some.
I don't
pretty
think
citrus.
this.
That's not.
They're going to give him half a gram. I was like, brother.
Right, that's good. And we don't want to get you too fucked up, but you're gonna do it on the proxy as well. So
Okay.
get crazy.
What's that? Will Smith song? Get jiggy with it.
Not fun, gentlemen.
I forgot he made all those tweets where he's like, "Fill the base, or do I fill it with my feelings?" And
He tweeted that. He tweeted that.
bro, some of the stuff he's tweeted. If I had the battery percentage, I want
I had the battery percentage.
I need about 200%. There was like 4 that I was listening to. I always listen to weird stuff. Do you guys like any weird podcasts like that, or like? I always like listening to like either like one-hit wonders from hip hop, or like like celebrities are like, oh yeah, I forgot he fell off. Where's he? Was like James? I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah, I like those type of podcasts too.
Yeah.
They cool, and you kind of like, and it's even cooler when they can get the people they talking about
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yes.
Be like, well, this is why I have it. Not because I didn't make good music, because I wouldn't do something weird, or like contracts, or
Right.
or I just did drugs and just forgot I did music.
That's Little Wayne.
Right.
I love that when the guy's like he's reading back lyrics to him. He's like,
I said that.
he's like, oh, I said that. Shit.
That's okay. Little Wayne's the goat, so.
I really thought he was going to come out as a special guest at the Super Bowl.
It would have been nice.
I know he confirmed like he wasn't going to, or I think something like that. But like,
I mean, when people confirm things that you don't ask them, that you know that you want to know from them, that
Right.
tell you a lot. Like when you didn't ask them, like, oh, yeah, are you gonna be a part of it? He just volunteered it, like, no, I'm not doing it.
right.
I mean, you gotta think he's still somewhat cool with Drake, so he ain't gonna.
Oh yeah, because the whole thing.
I know Nicki Minaj is not Drake at all. I thought he killed all that.
I don't know, but he still, that's where he originated from. So.
He's loyal.
Do you like the proxy better or the
I feel like this one hit a little harder, like a little way harder. This one is kind of like on the go smooth. Like hit this and then it'd be like, okay, I can like like a cigarette or like a pipe or like a cigar, like you just puff it and keep going.
Yeah.
It is nice.
You also, if you get a monocle and a top hat, you look very sophisticated while you smoke it. That's a bonus.
You can just win all the arguments right now. You have that.
Indubitably.
You could say anything and we believe it. Driving down the road.
Like this, like you hit this, it's like, all right, I'm high. Like this is it. But when you do that, you might forget. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like hitting like a cart or like a pen.
That's why I don't got one. I'm gonna be real. I try to get the best one they got.
Yeah, so just like keep hitting it, and then you're like,
All the,
I'm sorry.
you know all the Yukons and all those things. That only lasts me a month or two. Is that a kitty cat? Brother.
The last guy I saw outside fed me a weed.
We were sitting on the couch. We were sitting on the couch
Where are the
the
plants
other
that used to
night,
be here?
smoking.
Let's get through these testers. And
Yeah,
stuff.
right. My fault. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna write my ice sangria scorecards on here because we don't have time.
So for ice sangria, I would give it an 8 on appearance, just because it is a little more wet. It's got that good gooey battery substance to it. It's very nice, easy dazzleable, but at the same time, it could be a little bit lighter. I would give it for aroma. I would give it a good 7. It doesn't stench up the room, but at the same time, I mean, it's pretty fire. Flavor, I'd give it a 9. I actually really enjoy the flavor of the ice sangria. That's something I can wake up to and taste, especially if I have like nausea issues. Sometimes something too skunky and earthy gets me a little sick, but a little sweet in the morning to help my tummy. Definitely ice sangria. And effect, to be honest with you, it's hard to answer that as a person who smokes too much cannabis. So I mean, it does its job. I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, I didn't think it was an issue.
Especially if you're a heady boy, you'll probably get a 7 or 6.
What did you do? Ready?
Yeah.
Benzina, which is Italian for that's a spicy meatball. No, it's not gas, right?
I guess it was like a picture of an Italian dude with a flag and ball.
Spicy meatball.
Israel here came up and made a spicy meatball and took a picture for the gram, so go check that out.
Give it an 8. But it does whip nice. Aroma, we'll give that an 8 too. The flavor, give that a 7. An effect, though, that's an 8. I like that effect. But I'm already high. I don't know.
Appearance, I give it a 6. Aroma, I give it a 6. Flavor, I give it a 7. And effect, I give it a 6. If I had to be brutally honest, it looks very pretty. It has good numbers, but just
Does it translate well?
Maybe there's cannabinoids in there that I'm more used to, or I really don't understand why that one just doesn't get me as high. But at the same time, it is still a good product. I still would buy that at a store, and I'm not saying that because I make it. I'm saying that genuinely.
I'll buy the fuck out of that product.
This is so fire. This is the best one.
What's your score?
Oh no, I'm sorry. The Benzina.
Yeah, that's the best one.
That was a good one.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
That's the one.
Excellent. All right.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
And see, that's why I love having a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own preferences, tastes, and just opinions, and I love that. Because I usually shit on everything we have, and it's nice.
No, well, it's good to
I
be
try
so
to shit on
critical,
them. Well, yeah, but
because that's how you bring the best product.
And I like to compare it to the other really great solvents extraction companies that do really great jobs. Because there's a lot of guys out there doing it real right.
Oh yeah, there's tons of good people on the market too, and on both sides you can have caregiver, you have metric, but
and I know we're never going to catch up to their snuff, but at the same time,
moon cheese. So
as long as we can get rosin efficiently to the people.
Fuck yeah, everybody should have access to rosin. Don't have to break the bank,
Like both of these smell wise.
Right, and you can see kind of like the different ways it looks. I love different, like seeing the different styles, different looks, different. I'm gonna shine my light to it.
Because terpenes can actually cause the product to get darker. And that doesn't mean, dark doesn't mean bad. dark can mean bad. Don't get me wrong. We had a strain called Platinum Cookies, and the only thing good about it was its name. But it's a pretty cool name. It tasted like mimosa. It was delicious.
You say you like the way the Black Afghan smell better, right? We'll start with that one then, I think, right?
So Benzina's done.
Yeah.
There's raspberry moon cheese and
Man, this one's got
Raspberry
like,
moon cheese.
this one's
That's
got
an
some, like,
interesting
spice.
name.
so when we make tags
that's
in
the
metric,
black
you usually like spell the name out. I made that in acronym. I was like, this is RMC.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna write 100 tags as raspberry moon cheese. I'm gonna get the this is what?
RMC and then the Black Afghan.
So this is the RMC.
Oh, it's darker too.
Exactly, and that dark doesn't always mean bad. And you're gonna, if you want to give it a sniff and kind of give your own taste to it.
That's the one that was mostly cold cured and then.
This one
whipped,
doesn't have like a super strong smell.
No, it doesn't. But when it's lacks in smell, it comes in with flavor. I will say that. It definitely doesn't have the appearance or aroma, but it does have the flavor and the effect for RMC. I do enjoy. But you're starting with what?
Black Afghan.
All right, let me
I'm
pull
learning
Black
so
Afghan.
much.
Hey. Black Afghan is 73.91% total THC, 0.33% CBD, has a robust 90.37 total cannabinoids, and its total terpenes is 8.84%. So it kind of checks off a lot of the boxes. I would say the ones that we've had, I think Black Afghan, I kind of thought it tastes like AK-47.
How do you know what it tastes like?
AK-47?
Oh, like the strain? I'm sorry. What the fuck?
I'm smoking a gun.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
You might be a little too high now.
Last time I was at the animal store, I bought a bunch of 7.62, and I was like, man, I can't wait to get home and smoke this.
I know, right? Like, let me get a machine gun. And I'm feeling a shotgun today. No, that's funny. Kind of stupid. My bad. Oh, wait, we gotta load this one up. See, I am kind of high. I'm forgetting stuff. That's the whole point, though, you know? Remember, I throw that pizza back in the oven. It's fire. Yeah. I like this one, too. I like this one. And then the Future Haze, I like because it's a nice little fucking even high. The Black Afghan.
Which one's that right there?
The Black Afghan.
Let me see that bad boy.
I feel like it fucking hits, dude. Like, I felt this high.
So we just smoked the Black Afghan. You're putting into the rig.
Mm-hmm. That's what I put in here.
This is a Black Afghan.
Okay.
Definitely got that ladder appearance. Definitely nice, wet, better looking.
I see.
Yummy, yummy. Which one did you guys like?
I like all of them.
So between the ice and the Future Haze, how can I serve you?
What's the names of those?
Future Haze, Ice Sangria.
I see.
Just
Yeah.
give it.
And we have the Black Afghan whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
One thing that's good about
And then the Benzina.
sorry about that, it got stuck on the side.
So for people that's just starting off smoking, what would you recommend?
I would recommend, definitely being over the age of 21.
Sure.
But besides that, I'd recommend, just getting a one-hitter and seeing how you feel. Cannabis isn't right for everybody. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's right for most people, but I definitely take it slow. No, there's nowhere or need to rush, but once you start, smoking 3, 4, 5 blunts a day and you're looking in the mirror going, where's my money going and why don't I feel that great? It might be time to hop over onto some concentrates.
Right, basically.
If you are interested in smoking a concentrate, I'd definitely try an infused pre-roll. I'd go slow. I'd definitely ask them what kind of cannabis is in there because there's a good chance it's trimmed. So if you're looking for something quality, definitely make sure to ask your local bud tender. But yeah, we sell a brand called Yeet rosin infused pre-rolls, and they're pretty nice.
Yeet.
And that's probably, I would introduce someone that way with it, but I'm also an idiot, so I would just, the first time I ever took dabs, I was in the back of a car going to Las Vegas. So,
Man, I remember my first time seeing somebody take a dab. I was like, no. What is that? You're using torch? You look like a crack. I was so fucking judgmental. Look at me now. I was like, flower only, what? And then, like you said, it's just like, yo, you smoke a blunt, another blunt, and you're like, I'm not high. What the fuck? It's time for concentrate.
and if you're worried about, chemicals or anything like that, I genuinely will say anything that gets passed through testing that's hydrocarbonated, it's not going to kill you. But if you are worried, there are things like solvents extracted items like rosin cards, or rosin disposables, rosin edibles. It's just a cleaner process. So if you are worried about chemicals, which I would say, not worry that much about it, but everything that comes through it should be very well done. A lot of the testing labs here in Michigan are very elite.
So we're doing the raspberry moon cheese, which is the last strain. Unless you guys wanna go with the mystery secret fridge rosin.
I'd say you gotta like, hear
Side by
it
side.
Right? You think so?
Yeah, I don't
Because
think
it's
that's
been
right.
like 2 weeks. It's also cold as fuck in the fridge too, so that's why it's going so slow. But it's coming in nicely. Like, I'm happy with the way it is.
So what happens if you try before it's cured all the way?
Oh, nothing. Just you won't get the. It'll taste different.
Different good, different bad.
There. Honestly, some people like smoking fresh press.
Yeah.
There's no wrong way to do it. I like it cured. I like that white powder appearance, and I find it easier to smoke. That sometimes your fresh press is very shattery, and then you're like breaking crystals. You're like, oh my god.
There's companies out there that do like second press. They'll sell their second press for a lot cheaper, like $7.10. But their second press is still more expensive
Quality.
there.
Yeah.
Still more expensive than ours. But $7.10 is like really good. That's like, I say, the Apple of rosin brands.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say if there's anyone that actually owns the market shares of like, but I would say 710 for solventless concentrates is pretty elite.
Mm-hmm.
As
But
elite as elite can be.
Elevator Lakes, it's up there.
We just gotta get y'all all around Michigan, because I'm familiar with 710. I've seen that name before.
All right. Oh shit, we can try it in here too.
Yeah.
And that's it.
710. They we wish to compete, but at our scale, we're a mom and pop shop.
They're in like all the states. We're Silicon Valley, investors. They got the money. And then as soon as New Jersey opened up, boom, they're in there.
Oh, yeah.
So what the fuck, dude?
Well, they're brilliant. I'm very happy for them. They make a great product, and they should be proud of themselves.
For sure. No, I like, and then all the reps and all the like bartenders that work the events out here for 710, they're all amazing people. Like, they're all so fucking dope.
See, I'm a lab rat. I never get out to events. You'll
I'll
find
book the
me
fuck out.
filling carts with my little whiskers.